Well, across the Treasure State, Mother Nature played a late April Fool's Day trick on Montanans cooped up under quarantine. Our storm tracker weather team has been tracking snow showers falling across Montana, with many areas, including here in Great Falls and Helena, seeing anywhere from 2 to 8 inches. Now, in our capital city, this video shows wind gusts blowing snow off rooftops. Local parks, as you can see, covered in snow. So if you are going for a walk, maybe tomorrow, make sure to watch your step. There will also be work for you to do if you have your car parked outside. Snow will be thick but soft to remove, so it should be pretty easy. And here in Great Falls, residents started seeing rain transition to snow just after midnight Friday and woke up to several inches on the ground, making for beautiful scenery in the downtown area. Drivers made their way through slushy roads in the later part of the day, with cooler temperatures creating slicker conditions out on the roadways. Those roads will continue to be a major focus as the winter weather continues. A winter storm warning continues actually through tonight. We'll have more on that in just a moment, but first let's head outside for a check on how state workers are handling all this snow. MTN's Matt Hozaffel joins us now with more. And Matt, people are hard at work despite emptier streets.
Yeah, Kelly, well, if you weren't already planning on staying home this weekend, the snow probably made that decision even easier. I spoke to the Montana Department of Transportation to see if they were doing anything differently in terms of getting the roads plowed and salted, and also staying true to social distancing guidelines. As both government employees and essential infrastructure workers, there's really no doubt that the plow drivers will be out in full force this weekend as soon as the snow hit. In fact, while many of the office workers at the MDT are working remotely from home, it's not exactly business as usual for plow drivers, but it's pretty close.
Maintain the roads and do our job, but it's not business as usual. Obviously, this coronavirus has changed a lot of things, but we're doing what we can to still maintain the roads and do our jobs.
Scott also told me that they're disinfecting everything they use, whether who uses it, vehicles, and everything else. I'll have more tonight at 10 on how the Montana Department of Transportation is dealing with this April snowstorm in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic. Keely?
Thanks, Matt. And with more on weather conditions, here's Russ Thomas.
I think Mother Nature just loves playing games with us this time of year. A couple days ago, even yesterday, temperatures warm in the 60s, even a few 70s around the state. Today, we've got a winter storm warning in effect through midnight for much of the state, and we also have a few advisories as well out there. For those areas in the warning here in central Montana, we're looking at the potential for 5 to 8 inches of snowfall, even more than that in some of those higher elevations. You can see just how wide this area is where that warning covers. Lewistown to Great Falls, Helena, see Harlowton as well, White Sulphur Springs off to the west as far as Sealy, Potomac region, and the Butte Blackfoot region. Just a lot of snow, wind coupled with that as well. Now, the snow and the wind should start to diminish across the area this evening during the overnight hours, so good news there. But again, going to be tricky travel out there this evening, and of course, conditions very poor for travel, so just be aware of that. Satellite radar, you can see those pockets of snow that we have around the area. We'll have more coming up, including a cold but sunny Sunday in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Russ. And staying with our winter weather coverage, here's a look at conditions in Cascade near the Dearborn area. Residents reported seeing 8 inches in the area so far, with more still falling tonight. We're told this was taken about a mile from Craig. Conditions continue to worsen as we head into the night. So we have much more from our area on our Storm Tracker Weather Facebook page and mobile app. Whether you're a truck driver risking it all to deliver goods to Montanans or just choosing to social distance with a drive, download it for the latest conditions. It's free in the Apple Store or Google Play. Moving now to the latest on coronavirus cases in Montana and here at home. As of this morning, state health officials reported 377 confirmed cases of coronavirus, with 169 patients recovered. There have been 6 deaths statewide, 3 in Toole and 1 in Lincoln, Madison, and Missoula counties. The state's website shows 46 hospitalizations. 21 of those are considered as active hospitalizations. More than 8,500 tests have been completed so far far for COVID-19. And closer to home, as of this morning, there were 13 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Cascade County and no reported deaths. The latest case was announced Friday. Officials said it was a woman in her 70s associated with out-of-state travel. The City-County Health Department said 8 patients have recovered so far. Now, the Cascade City-County Health Department officials say that due to federal privacy laws, they cannot release any other information about the patients, including where they live or work. The CCHD has not released information about any specific cases linked to any businesses in the area. And at least one person has been hospitalized in our area. Moving now to our capital city, Lewis and Clark County still sits at 16 cases as of this morning. No new cases have been reported in that area. And moving to news around the nation tonight, the U.S. has more than 500,000 confirmed coronavirus cases with at least 20,000 deaths so far. In New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio says the nation's largest school system will remain closed for the rest of the school year. But Governor Andrew Cuomo says no decision has been made, and it's not the mayor's call to make alone. CBS News correspondent Michael George has the latest from New York.
It's the biggest decision I've ever had to make.
President Trump faces a difficult question: restart the nation's economy or face the prospect of acting too fast and risking lives. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio said Saturday he's keeping the school system that serves more than 1 million students closed for the rest of the school year.
The worst mistake we could make is to take our foot off the gas and end up in a situation where this disease had a resurgence and threatened us even more.
The mayor has an opinion in New York City.
Governor Andrew Cuomo fired back, saying no decision has been made. Cuomo says while New Yorkers continue to become infected with the coronavirus, the rate of hospitalization is flattening. But Friday brought another day of close to 800 deaths in the nation's hardest hit state.
Incredible loss and pain.
The numbers are rising around most parts of the country, including Florida.
People have not created that conscious, like, let's keep distance.
Many shoppers in Sacramento, California followed new CDC recommendations, and for some, the advice of loved ones to wear cloth masks in public.
My mom told me I needed to wear a mask, so I went and there was none anywhere. So I had to get creative.
In Texas, Houston's mayor urged people to celebrate Easter at home.
You can walk into a church feeling fine, sit next to some people, embrace them, hug them, shake their hands, and now you have infected 4, 5, 6, 8 other people.
On Sunday, countless congregations will be bringing services to the masses online as they pray for a better tomorrow. Michael George, CBS News.
And moving to our health headlines tonight, the U.S. is seeing an increase in the number of deaths by suicide in recent years. Data from the National Center for Health Studies shows from 1999 to 2018, the suicide rate increased to 35%. The rate for men was more than 3.5 times the rate for women. And among men, the highest suicide rate occurred in those 75 and older. And back here at home, No More Violence Week will be offering a free webinar on suicide prevention next week. This presentation focuses on suicide within our culture with specific attention towards Montana. The speaker of the webinar is Carl Roston, who is the suicide prevention coordinator for the Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services. Jamie Marshall, who's the chair of No More Violence Week, says this is a time for all of us to look out for each other.
For all of us to continue to watch out for each other in this truly unique time in history that we're living through, we know is all paramount. Watching that social distancing truly does not need to feel like social isolation, but it is a little more difficult right now.
Now, they do ask that you register online. You can check out our websites for more details. The time is 5:40 on this Saturday night, and up next, capital city leaders are finding ways to thank those in the front lines of COVID-19. We'll share that story next. And welcome back to Montana This Morning. The time is 5:43 on this, excuse me, it's not Montana This Morning. It's the 5:30 news. I think I'm Getting my days mixed up here. 5:41 p.m. on this Saturday night. And beginning in our capital city, there is an open letter for anyone to sign and thank grocery store workers. The Helping Communities Coalition Mental and Social Wellbeing Work Group created this open letter to recognize grocery store workers for their efforts during the COVID-19 pandemic. The coalition is led by Lewis and Clark Public Health and other agencies involved to promote well-being in the community through motivation and other things. According to the work group, the letter was released Thursday, and by Friday afternoon, almost 200 signatures were gathered. Physical copies of the letter are being sent out to grocery stores.
I mean, they're out there, basically putting themselves at risk so we all can keep our families fed. And I hope they just know how much that we see that and that we recognize that and that we're so grateful.
A link to the letter will be posted on our websites. And here at home, one of the most vulnerable populations to COVID-19 is our elderly. Now, Benefis Health System in Great Falls is providing a safer and easier way for residents to communicate with loved ones by introducing iPads. They say it's easy. You just call in and set up an appointment, and you can have face-to-face digital time with your loved ones. Benefis Senior Services Chief Operating Officer David Krebs says this time together is priceless.
It's first, it was very different in the beginning because they're looking at somebody on their TV screen, on a screen in front of them. But to watch their smiles, their faces, their giggles, their laughter is priceless.
Benefis is taking precautions like sanitizing iPads after each visit. The facility has not seen any COVID-19 related cases yet, and we'll have more with our full forecast coming up here after the break.
Welcome back. I mentioned this earlier. I'll say it again. Mother Nature, something about April, really just about the entire spring, but putting on a show in terms of throwing us off. Of course, Thursday, Friday, beautiful weather. Temperatures are so warm all around the state. Now we're starting off for Saturday with a winter storm warning. Now, this isn't in effect until midnight, covers much of the state, including right here, central Montana, Great Falls, Helena. You can see off to the east as far as Lewistown, even beyond that, and then into western Montana as well. That is a large, expansive area around the state. We're getting not only the potential for several inches of snowfall. In fact, some of the higher elevations up to a foot of snow. Now, a lot of that has already come down. Still expecting snow through this evening in the early overnight hours, but also factoring in those very gusty winds. So if you're traveling anywhere, be careful, but especially the higher up you go in elevation, just know that is going to be a concern. Now, some good news. Havre Cut Bank, earlier we had an advisory that has since expired, so that area right now in the clear. You can see where we have the bulk of the snowfall. Western Montana from about Flathead Lake down south through southwest Montana. Great Falls, you can see spreading down toward Helena. Bozeman right now getting a break, but Billings, also Glasgow, getting hit with snowfall. And again, the area shaded in the darker blue, the darker purple, indicating where we're seeing some of the heavier snow. We see it here, Great Falls. We see it in Billings and then around just west of Missoula as well. Augusta getting hit hard, Wolf Creek as well. And again, just those pockets of snow that are going to quickly exit the region. The other big story, as you might imagine, we're talking about snow, we're talking about wind, very cold temperatures, especially considering the last several days. 26 Great Falls, 26 Lewistown, 28 Helena, 36 Bozeman. Look at this 24-hour temperature change. It feels 37 degrees colder now than it did at this time yesterday in Helena. Butte, 34 degrees cooler. Hamilton, 38 degrees cooler. Great Falls, 28 degrees colder. Again, it's the cold air factored with those northerly winds. 19 miles per hour is the wind both in Helena and in Great Falls out of the northeast. Overnight lows tonight, cold. Again, just what you'd expect. We're talking about lows of 9 Great Falls, 9 Cut Bank, 12 Havre, 10 Lewistown, 15 in Helena. Future track as we move through the overnight hours, notice snow diminishes. By tomorrow, we're in the sunshine. The thing is that cold air is going to continue to pour in, so it is going to be well below normal temperature-wise, even with the sunshine. It'll feel good and look nice to get that sunshine, but it is going to be, again, very cold with that. Our high tomorrow, even with the sun in Great Falls, 28, only 32 Helena. Not much of an improvement on Monday. We'll get sun, but 33 and 35 respectively in Great Falls and Helena. Again, these numbers should get rid of that graphic. That is well above what we're actually going to see. We'll take a look at our future track heading into your Monday. And again, what we've got for you, that potential for, again, a little bit of snow out there tonight. And then that is about it. Here's a look at our 7-day forecast. 28 tomorrow, 33 on Monday, as mentioned. 45 Tuesday, then we get another round of cooler temperatures, chances of snow. 37 and 40 Wednesday and Thursday, finally warming up to 53 next Friday. But each of the next 7 days is going to be below normal, and in and several cases well below normal, including the next couple days. In Helena, 32 mostly sunny tomorrow, 35 partly cloudy Monday. Best chance of showers comes on Wednesday. Generally rain, but a little bit of snow mixed in with a high of 40. And then Friday, Saturday, finally back in the 50s. 56 Friday, 54 Saturday. So again, sunshine tomorrow, mostly sunny, but it is going to be very chilly with a high of only freezing.
Thanks, Russ. And if you're thinking about giving a chick as an Easter gift, this might not be the year. The pandemic has created a newfound demand for chicks as people in quarantine look for comfort and eggs in these turbulent times. Nancy Chen has the story.
These cuddly chicks are a springtime tradition for many people. But this year, the demand is much different.
Oh yeah, it's never like this.
Our business has probably tripled in the last 3 weeks.
Wayne Meyer has run Long Island Poultry for 10 years.
People are staying home now, so they have nothing to do, and they want the fresh eggs because they're not on the shelves. So why not get chickens and have your own?
Sybil Kenny waited in line for hours to get her chicks.
We were nervous because this is the time of year to get them, and now everybody wants them.
Meyer is selling about 500 chicks a week, and he isn't the only one.
These are my chicks.
Rent-A-Coop with locations in Maryland and New Jersey leases chickens and says it's had more business in the past month than all of last year.
You want to get down?
The Exarchov family rented chickens for the company and says their decision is about more than just eggs.
To be truthful, these are probably the most expensive eggs that we'll ever have, because of the rental. But I think it's really about the experience and just having something to do with the family that's outside.
Hatching new ideas for families to celebrate a holiday in the middle of a pandemic. Nancy Chen, CBS News, New York.
It's now 5:52 on this Saturday night, and coming up next, spring sports may be on hold, and now coronavirus concerns affect how recruitment is done. We'll share more next.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 5:30 news continues on Montana's news leader.
Welcome back to the 5:30 news. It is now 5:54 on this Saturday night, and the coronavirus continues to chip away at high school spring sports each week. And coaches for those same sports at the college level have to find a way to still recruit without seeing athletes in person. MTN's Isaiah Dunk has more.
Earlier this week, the Montana High School Association announced it would extend its suspension of spring sports until April 24th due to the coronavirus, cutting at least another few weeks out of an already shortened spring season. It's certain to make things tough for high schoolers looking for that breakthrough season to get recruited for college. University of Providence track and field head coach Tony Arnson said it's almost equally tough to build new relationships without face-to-face interaction.
You're almost trying to set plans for different times. Okay, what if they open it up April 24th? They turn us loose. So we got to have a plan for what are we going to do April 24th until May 31st. So really, we're kind of putting together 2 or 3 different plans, very flexible, obviously. But I do think you have to have a plan because when it does come, every college coach in the region is going to be doing the same gosh darn thing,
Arnson admits he's new to college recruiting after spending nearly the last 30 years coaching at the high school level. The Argos program has been getting steady commitments through remote signings and video chats, but with the coronavirus changing the economy at breakneck pace, sudden financial hardships could make it difficult for families to even send their son or daughter to college.
The biggest thing I think is going to be the retention of it, is making sure that we get them to school August 1st. That's going to be the big thing. Sometimes it's awful easy to do something while you're sitting at your house and you sign a piece of paper and send it away.
At least for track and field programs, recruiting athletes doesn't require as much of an eye test as, say, a team sport like softball. A 200 time is a 200 time.
I think track and field makes it much easier because it is very objective. And really what we want is we want kids that want to compete at this level. And, they might not be all-staters or, the all-American type kids in high school, but kids that want to compete at this level, we're going to go after them and give them that opportunity.
In Great Falls, Isaiah Dunk, MTN Sports.
Thanks, Isaiah. The time is 5:57, and up next, a little girl's Easter time COVID-19 concerns were calmed by police. We'll share her request next.
By the Montana Television Network. The 5:30 news continues on Montana's News Leader.
Welcome back to Montana This Morning. Well, with all the serious news swirling around the world, we wanted to end tonight on a positive note. One little girl is looking forward to the Easter holiday so much that she's even getting cops involved. That video will pop up here in just a second. This is the view from the capital city this morning as snow was blowing off. There we go. Oh, I think we're back to the weather video, which is still very pertinent at this time. But a letter to the Great Falls Police, there it is, reads in part, "Please let the Easter Bunny not get into trouble because of the lockdown," end quote. Viewer Ember Kipp says the officer did respond, reassuring her she had nothing to worry about and that she'd make sure that the Easter Bunny would get to her and all the other kids. Now you can read the rest of the letter on our website, but for now, stay warm, stay healthy, and stay safe this Saturday night. Once again, thanks for trusting MTN. We'll see you right back here tonight at 10. And to keep up with the latest weather updates and road conditions, be sure to download our Storm Tracker weather app. We'll see you back here tonight at 10.